Hi, welcome back to our No Skincare Academy. If you are joining me for my free training, for the first time, my name is Dr. Noah Oseni. I'm the CEO and founder of our No Skincare Academy. At our No Skincare Academy, we are concerned about formulation for persons with skin of color. However, today's topic is all-encompassing. We are talking about stabilizing vitamin C serum. We all know how important vitamin C is as an antioxidant, not just to formulators, even for the oral health. Taking vitamin C supplement, using it as a serum is one of the best things you can do for your skin to prevent aging, fine lines, and even to protect your skin against the sun rays, because it is a strong reducing agent and it has the ability to react with the reactive oxygen species that are created whenever we go through stress or we enter the sun that comes to the skin. It reacts with ROOS to help prevent breakdown of our collagen that causes aging. See how important it is? So without your vitamin C serum, you may be exposing yourself to so much ROOS, and at a particular point in your life, you just realize that the skin starts sagging. There are deep fine lines. Many of us were not lucky. Personally, I became conscious of my skin health shortly, like less than 2 years ago. Not because I was not a chemist, but I think I was not concerned, or I did not really care. But I tell you, if you are not using vitamin C serum, or you are not selling vitamin C serum to your consumer as a formulator, please do. If the problem you have been having is about stability, then this video is for you. So let's dive in. Before we go into vitamin C tips, let's start with the tips before we go into the formulation proper, or the stabilizing of the vitamin C. So we start with the whys, because as a formulator, if you don't know the why behind something, you may never really understand this solution. So why does vitamin C grow muddy brown, from pale yellow to yellowish to orange to muddy brown? What happens? What is the kinetic? What is the mechanism behind this reaction? So this is it. When vitamin C is exposed to oxygen in the presence of a catalyst of light, which could be sunlight or artificial light, and metal ions, it breaks down, losing electrons or protons, as the case may be. I think I'm going to too much chemistry. I'll break it down, please. To produce dihydroxyl ascorbic acid. So what am I saying? Anytime vitamin C comes in contact with oxygen, this oxygen could be oxygen from the water, because water is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen. So whenever you are formulating vitamin C, as long as there's water in that formulation, the oxygen in that water will react with the vitamin C to start browning. Or alternatively, the oxygen in the air will breathe oxygen, so there's oxygen everywhere. So the oxygen in the air will react with the vitamin. So if you put vitamin C without covering it properly, and there's air has access to it, it's going to get oxidized. Another form of oxygen is the oxygen in our body. So our body has what we call reactive oxygen species, also known as ROOS. They are produced whenever the skin goes through stress. So whenever we are stressed out, mentally, physically, emotionally, any kind of stress at all, your body system is going to generate reactive oxygen species. Second, whenever you are exposed to the sun, you go into the sun, as long as the sun hits you, the sun is going to convert some of your cells and destroy those cells, and the end product of cell destruction is reactive oxygen species. Other minor roles of ROOS is pollution, environmental pollution, presence of pollution like carbon monoxide, or smoking. When you smoke a lot, each time you smoke, people around you or yourself, you are attracting ROOS to your system. So this ROOS also reacts with vitamin C. So the question is that, you see why we apply vitamin C in the morning, Whenever you go out, you are exposed to pollution, you're exposed to sunlight. So each time you apply vitamin C on your body, sorry, I'm deviating a little, that vitamin C is going to attack that ROOS, because whenever there's ROOS on your system, ROOS is the cause of aging. ROOS breaks down the collagen and the cell structure, and whenever it breaks it down, you're going to have sagging skin, fine lines, and aging. So vitamin C does not allow that to happen. Immediately it sees that oxygen. So that's the only time vitamin C is actually useful. The other oxygen are destructive to vitamin C. Leaving vitamin C in the open environment for the normal atmospheric oxygen to react with it is a no-no. Or leaving vitamin C carelessly in water solution is a no-no, because it does not have to be there. But leaving vitamin C on your skin to react with that oxygen, or what we call ROOS, is yes. That is why we need vitamin C, because vitamin C is meant to actually react with the oxygen, right? But we need to preserve it from reacting with oxygen before it gets to the skin. Because if oxygen has already reacted with vitamin C when it's still in the bottle, then when it gets to the skin, it becomes useless. In fact, it becomes destructive. Because when your vitamin C is now brown, know this now, listen very carefully. When your vitamin C is now brown, it simply means that all the oxygen that it could find, either from the water or from the environment, has already reacted with it. So the vitamin C you are seeing there is no more vitamin C. It's actually a ROOS, a dihydroxyascorbic acid, which is also a reactive oxygen species. So when you apply brown vitamin C on the skin, you know what you are doing? You are adding aging to the natural systematic aging. So you are adding ROOS yourself, in addition to the ROOS that your body is already producing because of stress, pollution, and sunlight. So you are doing yourself more harms whenever you use a brownish vitamin C. In addition to the aging process, so brown vitamin C indirectly causes premature aging. In addition, it also discolors your skin. So when you use deoxidized vitamin C, sometimes you see that you begin to go dark. Not that you are getting dark, it is the brownish color from the vitamin C. Vitamin C is continuously being oxidized in your skin. Because one thing, for those who are scientists among us, you may understand what I'm saying next. One thing about reaction is that once a reaction is activated, you cannot stop it. So that's why in chemistry, you are advised to prevent the activation energy. Don't allow the reaction to start. So that's the essence of all I'm going to say today. So you cannot stop browning of vitamin C. You cannot stop its oxidation. What you can do is to prevent the process of oxidation as long as possible. So what are those things you can do such that even when there's oxygen available, the vitamin C cannot react with the oxygen? You are going to make it difficult for vitamin C and oxygen to react until when it gets to the skin, where it becomes very obvious that the oxygen there is too much. So it's going to react anyway. Number one, prevent available water. So you have to work on the water activity of vitamin C, because there's no how you are not going to use water during formulation of vitamin C. Especially if you are an SME like me, where you don't have any other solvents that can dissolve vitamin C minus water. But what you can do is to attract the water first with other ingredients, such that the water is there, but it is not available for reaction. Yes, there are compounds. We're going to explain these compounds in details in our part 2. That their function is, whenever they come into a water system, they react with the water. They bind it. They bind with the water, so that any other thing that is coming in does not have any space anymore, because the water is already taken. So that's one. Time of adding vitamin C is also very important. Then preventing oxygen in your packaging material. This may be difficult for SMEs, but if you know you can afford it, buy a nitrogen gas. So flush your packaging materials with nitrogen gas. So I've talked about, let's name them. The first one, bind water, prevent a free water. Yeah, prevent free water. That's the first one. The second one is prevent oxygen from the container. So we are in the second one. So flush your containers with oxygen such that there's no oxygen for the vitamin C to react when it gets into the packaging material. Then formulate your product as fast as possible. Don't expose it unnecessarily to oxygen, because each time you have, while you are formulating, there's oxygen around. So formulate and package immediately, still on the oxygen. Then part steering light. Remember we said that the two catalysts are light and metal ions. So do not package your vitamin C in containers that can absorb light. You don't want light to penetrate your vitamin C. That's why we use amber bottles. Amber bottles are brownish in color and they don't absorb light. You can also use, your packaging material should also have a darker color. Like in our No Skincare Academy now, we use a gold to burnt orange color in our packaging, because burnt orange color is similar to the amber color. So that is also, coloring also has a part to play. So you use such coloring such that they also do not allow light absorbance. So that's number 3, work on the lighting. Number 4, prevent metal ions to be in your formulation. As small as a iron ion or anything that has free metal ions present, sooner or later it will catalyze that reaction. And I told you that immediately browning starts, you cannot stop it. So it's to prevent the browning. That's what you should do as a formulator. So you will need chelating agents. In our part 2, we'll talk more about how to use these chelating agents that will bind the heavy metals if present, because you can't say heavy metals will be present in your other raw materials you'll be using for formulating the vitamin C. Even heavy metals can be present in the water you are going to be using. So you have to bind these heavy metals to also prevent the two catalysts of light and water. Then the last one is temperature. Though temperature is not really stated in the definition as a catalyst for starting oxidation of vitamin C, but scientific studies have found out that whenever the temperature is above 25 degrees, oxidation is faster. So it's the relationship between oxidation of vitamin C and temperature. It's not opposite, it's same, you get. So now that we know this, there's just one simple trick you can do to solve all these problems. Now, not in the formulation aspect. We'll talk about formulation proper next. But after formulation, putting your vitamin C in the fridge. Whenever you put your vitamin C in the fridge, you've deleted the constraint of temperature. The temperature is lower, so oxidation cannot occur due to temperature. Then light is also absent. Remember that vitamin C in the fridge, when you open the fridge, that's when you only see a little light. Once the fridge is closed, it's a dark vessel. So at that dark space, the vitamin C is not exposed to light. Again, still in the fridge, there is no oxygen. So have you ever seen anybody, even when the fridge is not plugged on and the temperature is at room temperature, that enters the fridge and locks themselves and survives it? They cannot survive it because there's no oxygen inside the fridge. So you've also eliminated oxygen. So when there's no oxygen, there's no light, during formulation you've eliminated heavy metals and the temperature is low, the only thing remaining will be water. And also we'll talk about eliminating water. So when you've eliminated water during your formulation and metals, you realize that as long as you've done all these things I've talked about and your final product remains in the fridge, you can keep your vitamin C for a very long time. At our No Skincare, that's what we do. We have a standby fridge in the laboratory where we store all our vitamin C, and whenever a consumer wants to buy vitamin C, we advise them to put it in the fridge. So you agree with me that we've been able to break down the secrets behind vitamin C stability. Many things that people would have not talked about. In fact, the big industry, this is the secret behind their sources. They've been able to successfully break down all the components that could have caused oxidation. And today, the small business owners like myself are going to be learning that same trick so that you can formulate vitamin C to give us the strongest antioxidant that we can have at affordable cost. So if you enjoyed this video, I'll advise that you help me to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my channel, and share this video to your co-formulators, and I'll see you in part 2.